So I'm straight in between the... Like, if I'm looking at you right now, you can see all my face?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just do blue lights from now on. It looks better.
Okay.
Well, episode 9.
We did it.
We finally made it back to the studio. You know, between the food poisoning, the schedule issues, and all that good stuff.
I forgot about food poisoning.
I would like to forget about it. So let's not rehash that. But this is kind of an end of an era for us.
It's the end of a new beginning.
Yes, right? As Beyonce once said, let me upgrade you. And that's what
I heard lesbiance, which is so funny.
Wow, that would make, if I was ever a drag queen in another life, that would be my character name.
I think that's a great one.
I had a friend, his was named...
Wait, sorry, I can't hear myself. Am I as loud as you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll turn your headphones up. Talk.
Da 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 da. Yeah, there we go. Now I feel that's good.
You good?
Yeah, and that's just my headphone sound, right? I'm not going to be that much louder than you. Okay.
It's just the headphone volume.
Okay. So now pick it up from that.
Yeah. If I was ever a drag queen in another life, I think Beyonce would be my lesbian Beyonce alter ego.
Good.
I had a friend, James, and he was, you know, just your fun, super eccentric, flamboyant gay guy. Loved to do drag queen stuff on the weekends, and his character was Sarah Balpalsy.
Yeah, drag names are one of those things that so we have this poster in the studio at home. That's all the rap names.
Mm-hmm.
I want one like that, but it's just of drag names.
That's funny. But wait, we got to tell people what's happening. So this is the last episode we're going to be doing before we start live streaming every Monday, 5:30 Pacific time, 9:30, 8:30 or 9:30?
Nope, all of that's wrong. Take it back. So we're going to start live streaming.
Yes.
Every Monday.
Okay.
6 p.m. start time, East Coast.
6 p.m. Okay. I thought it was going to be 5:30.
Well, no, I thought we're in the studio at
5 to 7.
Oh, okay. So it's 5:30 to 6:30?
Yeah, that's when
Okay.
So let's start over.
Go ahead.
So this is the end of an era in a way for us at House Rules. Or really, we're upgrading, like I just said a second ago, as Beyonce would say, right? I know we just did that joke, but I'm doing it again because it's funny. Maybe not. Anyway, so we've been pre-recording these, editing them, zhuzhing them up, and putting them out into the world. But now, starting next week, Monday, March 9th, every single Monday, 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time, we are going to live stream. It's going to be on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitch, Periscope, a bunch of other places. I'm figuring out how to get the episode live. Because here's the thing. We want to interact with you guys. We want you, first of all, we're performers, you know, between stand-up, sketch, improv. We need an audience. And the pressure
emotionally.
Yeah, and probably in an unhealthy way. But the more that we can have the pressure of a live audience, you know, even if it's just a couple of you guys at first watching us.
I mean, I feel like I'm always bringing my A game. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to just talk about how much more fun it's going to be.
No, I think it's going to be great. You guys can ask questions. I feel like so many people have messaged us or been like, dude, I love this thing, or like, bring this thing back, or like, talk about this thing. So having you guys there IRL to give us all of your opinions.
IRL, you love saying that.
I mean, you know, I like a good abbrev.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay, so that's coming next Monday. We're going to do a bunch of posts about it. When this drops on Friday, it'll be the next Monday. So March 9th, recorded right here live at Third Wheel Podcast Studio. We're going to have an engineer here helping us run all the fancy effects. It's going to be great. And we're going to be, so the live episode will be Monday nights. But then we're going to take it home. I'm going to throw in the sound effects, all the fun stuff, zhuzh it up, as Rachel loves to say. I'm going to drop those every Friday. That'll live forever. So if you don't get to catch it live Monday, you can wait till Friday, get the kind of like, you know, edited down, super cleaned up version. But Monday live, if you want to participate in asking us questions, see all the good stuff. And you're going to get to see stuff that gets cut out of the edited episodes. If you want the real full thing.
It's mostly me just like saying weird things and then being like, we'll edit that out later.
Okay, so let's jump into how we do things normally here. And let's recap what's going on with us. Now, first of all, you woke up this morning. So many emotions and thoughts. You had a weird night.
I've been working all the time, and I knew we had to get up early to do this, which I'm finding early in the morning is not my bag because like right now, like your leg is shaking, you're moving, like you have so much energy. It's like I can't like for me, I'm like
I'm a morning guy. I've been doing morning jujitsu.
I know, sir. I know all of this from you. Like I'll wake up and he'll come in and be like, "Hello," and I'm like, "Hi, good morning." He's like, "I've already had a full morning," and I'm like, "Okay." Like,
first of all, you're welcome, okay? Because when we have children and a dog and other things, you're gonna be pretty stoked that your husband is.
I know, because you're already like, I'm gonna have to like get up with the kids and with the dog and go for a hike and be like, we've got to leave mom alone for like 4 hours. We'll come back at noon. I'm like, yeah, and then I'll be happy to get up and make everybody a large brunch.
There you
but
go.
I just, my time clock is what it is.
Okay, so last night.
So last night, I knew we had to be up for this. I was working. I was wired. I have a lot of projects, so it's hard for me to turn my brain off.
Yeah.
And we had just gone to Sweet Flower to like re-up on all of our cannabis products.
Yeah, Sweet Flower is a weed shop in Melrose, by the way.
And so I don't participate in cannabis for recreation very often, right? And I have like such a super sensitive system, so figuring out like the balance of what I can put in my body that like does the medicinal effect versus the psychoactive effect is a little bit of a trial and error. So we got these new gummies.
Okay.
And they're like, the super ultra like femme packaging, like it's called Wild, WYLD. And it's like, like,
it's like spelling,
they're freaking gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like the packaging is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Looks like it's from like an apothecary.
What the cannabis industry has turned into in the past decade is incredible.
It's so unbelievably
like
smart.
It went from just like dirt bags and burnouts to like this whole cultural wellness betterment movement. I love it. It's great.
Which like, first of all, as it should be, but also like they're making it like approachable, but it's also like make anything attractive, and then people, well, it was like a very big swallow. I'm
drinking coffee to stay alert here, and I'm getting.
I think you're alert. I feel like you are present.
All right, finish
here.
Finish your thing, okay?
So we got these new pomegranate, fancy pants gummies, and I'm like, I'll take one of these. That way, it's like a lot of THC. It'll just knock me out,
Sativa
and I can get.
Indica?
There's a hybrid.
Okay.
So if you're not familiar, hybrid normally just means it's a mix of multiple, which is like a very safe way to go for me.
Just real quick for those who might not know, sativa is much more of like the mental brain high. You're like, ooh, weird thoughts. Indica is a little bit more of like a body high, knocks your body out, makes you feel a little bit more overall relaxed. I love sativas. Some people don't like to go that deep into their own thoughts and the weird corners of their brain. It's one of my favorite things to do. You, not so much.
Oh, I cleared out all the corners of my brain and soul last night.
Was it like you were in like a mental escape room in your own brain?
100%. I cleared out every single like element of, so I've been like on this path of wanting to kind of like purge a lot of things that no longer service me in my life. And so a lot of that for me comes from like retraining my brain, right? We have all these narratives from childhood that we've picked up or things that people have given us along the way. So we have like a lot of I statements normally that are based off of things that other people have given us are not even things we actually believe about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot to like retrain my brain in that way. So it's kind of been like a long time coming for so I basically feel like it reached my subconscious last night and my entire life flashed before my eyes. So I take this gummy. And I remember that he did tell us, he's like, you're going to want to take half, right? But I thought that meant, like, if I'm going to go out and try to do something, I only want to take half. So I'm like, oh, I'll take the whole thing. It'll knock me out. No. It did not knock me out. I went on, like, Gulliver's What was it? Gulliver's?
Gilligan's Island? No, Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah. That's what happened to me last night.
You were just Alice going full into the rabbit hole.
Legit fell down a tunnel, I remember, and being like, oh no. And if you've ever participated in cannabis and or have like a horror story, you know that feeling where you're like, there's no turning back.
This is just you at our house, and you say, oh no. You sound like Mr. Bill.
I know. So I was like curled up on the couch, and I was like, all right, so now you're going on a journey. You thought you were going to go to sleep, but like, you're going on a journey. You just have to like enjoy it. Because I was like, oh God, if I get too high, like I'm going to have to wake up Alex. And I was like, you're fine.
Well, what could I do?
Well, nothing, just like stabilize. Because sometimes, if you start to get too high, you need like stabilizers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, like we'll just see what happens. So I went on a full journey and like have seen the layout of our lives.
Okay.
Everything looks great, by the way.
That's good.
But I like the biggest takeaways were I need to slow down and like enjoy what's happening. Because I feel like I'm already like, all right, we need this to happen so then this can happen and then we can do this and this. So that was like the biggest takeaway of like, Your life is happening now. So just like, we're going to show you everything that's going to happen. You don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
We've got everything taken care of. You just need to like slow down and like enjoy all of it along the way.
I think it's great. No freakouts.
No freakouts.
That's a first for you because normally you start to get really like, whoa.
Well, every time, but that was a lot of like clearing out the corners of my brain. Like anytime I would like hit a door that I was like, uh-oh. And then I was like, great, that if you're having that reaction, you need to let out whatever is in that door. Like whatever you think is behind that door, you can handle it.
Would you do it again?
Yeah. I mean, but it was like a huge undertaking. Because to me, if you're actually like, these are like psychological drugs. Like,
of course.
When people are like, that seems like so like, you know, out there. It's like, no, it's literally a drug that it activates different parts of your brain. Like I had the actual experience scientifically of what's supposed to be happening.
Right.
So yeah, I cleared out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I basically gave myself my own Reiki healing. Like I went through like every part of like my brain or anything that I was holding on to that I no longer need. Like that shit's gone.
Well, it's interesting to me because you're very opposed to psychedelics in general for your own use, not for other people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But this is a quasi-psychedelic experience that you just had.
It was very psychedelic.
And it went well for you.
It did. Well, because I had to decide where I was like, oh, I have to just like go on this journey. Like if I try to fight it and like hold on and be like, oh no, I got too high, or like I'm supposed to be going to sleep, or like controlling it, it would have been a nightmare.
Well, this is very fitting because I'm going to pull something up that I found because, you know, I know a couple things you love here, right? A cool, trendy event in LA.
I love a good event.
And wellness.
I love a good wellness event.
And seems like you'd like going down this little journey of going into the weird pockets of your brain and finding out what's there. So I'm going to pull this up real quick that I found specifically to talk about today on the podcast. All right. So let me find this here. Just wait a second. I'm going to pull up the website.
I'm going to give you a few more tidbits so we can edit it into what I just said, and then we can start this, okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, it was just really cool to unexpectedly so I had been feeling all of these feelings where I was like, I need to sit, I need to meditate and like purge a lot of this stuff. Like I could feel kind of like a lot of things were like ready just to leave me. I don't know how else to describe it. I know people who don't have a spiritual practice are probably like, that seems insane.
You've made me a little bit more open to the thought of that being a real thing. I used to be very skeptical of it, like that's ridiculous, but it does sort of make sense that, I mean, the way it's like,
well, I can ground it in reality for you.
Okay.
So for me, I experience it as a like actual thing in my brain. So like if over and over you were like, so for me, I'm like, I get stage fright. I don't know where it came from. I get stage fright. I get stage fright.
Yeah.
I'm creating the narrative for myself that what?
That you're going to bomb on stage.
No, not that I'm necessarily going to bomb.
That you're going to be afraid.
But I'm going to be afraid.
Okay.
Right? Rather than choosing to reprogram that and be like, I have full control of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I have full control over what happens.
Right.
I have full control over what happens. So when you change the narrative, you're literally, it's just like decoding. So you're changing the code, you're writing something new, right?
Yep.
So a lot of that is what I do in my head. If I'm like, oh, here's something I've told myself for a long time, that doesn't work anymore. It's not servicing me. It's not helping me to approach the stage and be like, oh no, I'm going to get stage fright. That's not helping. So now I can change the narrative, right? So that's something for me. Now that might be too heady for people. So it's as simple as like, so if you do it in something that's manifested itself in the world that we live in, it's as simple as like, I want to lose weight. So what do you do to lose weight? You cut out other things so that you're replacing it with good things. So if you normally do chocolate at night, then you might be like, I'm going to do carrots and hummus at night now. So you're taking one thing out and you're replacing it with something else. So that's all I did, but within my thoughts. It's the same thing. So it's just purging what doesn't work and replacing it with something that works. But listen, I encourage you, no matter which way it worked, like I had no idea that I was going to go on that journey last night. And I woke up today and I was like, oh my God, I feel so much lighter. Like
you
there were
woke
all
up
of these
firing on all cylinders. I mean, the drive over here, you're like, there's so many things got to talk to you about before we start recording.
Well, yeah, and then you were like, I'm focused. But
Well,
there's like, yeah, there's just so much to it of like, there were all of these like questions I was trying to figure out and like all of these creative things, because that's normally a lot of the time when like even Rachel is like a person, like I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Whatever the thing is, sometimes creatively it'll come through first through like a joke or something I say. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, that's it.
Right.
And so that's how last night felt, where I was like, whoa, I did not think I signed up for this. But then all of a sudden, like, just all of these things that I feel like I've been making such a big deal out of or haven't been able to figure out where to place, it all seemed so easy.
So what I'm hearing is that the psychedelic adventure worked out well for you.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, this is very fitting.
Okay,
because
what do you
I
have for
found
me?
something that is going to be totally up your alley, maybe.
Okay.
All right, so here's the deal. I know you love a good trendy event, something fun, and like a pop-up of sorts.
Oh, sure.
Especially local in LA, right? You love wellness.
Love wellness.
What if I were to tell you that there is a psychedelic wellness convention happening in Los Angeles on your birthday weekend?
That's so funny.
Well, that is exactly what's happening, because this is called Meet Delic, okay? Now it's happening in LA.
Terrible name.
I know. It's, well, like psychedelic, Meet Delic.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got it.
So it's May 2nd and 3rd, all right? So check this out.
You can slow down just a little bit. Go ahead.
So it's May 2nd and 3rd in Los Angeles. So here, let's go through some of these fun facts here. So can you read that? You mean make that bigger?
I can't see it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, we're going to jump through some FAQs here. So, listen, I know you're probably like, what the hell is a psychedelic wellness event? Well, lucky.
I mean, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of
Well, you want to read some of this little info here for the listeners?
Curious about psychedelics? Meet Delic is a groundbreaking summit that allows you to immerse yourself in the world of psychedelic wellness, science, art, and culture. Over 2 days, we're bringing together a community of leading experts and inspired thinkers, that are laying the groundwork for the future of psychedelics. You will take part in cutting-edge conversations. All right, that seems a little highfalutin.
Yeah.
And learn how psychedelics can affect your wellness. Meet Delic will offer 20 hours of psychedelic education, 4 hours of after-school music and visual dance parties. That sounds like where you're taking the psychedelics.
Yeah.
Interactive networking. Isn't that what networking is? Visionary art gallery, and then some.
You seem like you're already not stoked about it.
No, okay. Show me who's speaking. Who's speaking?
Well, to be fair, I look some of the speakers. I'm like, that guy's just like a comedian I know.
Well,
like
let me see.
Okay. Oh, hold on.
It's a blank page. That would make sense.
No.
It's you. You're speaking.
Oh, here we go.
At the psychedelic convention. Okay, father of biohacking, Dave Asprey. Anthropologist, interesting. Okay. Science activate. Okay. Oh, I know him. People are like losing their mind over him. I just discovered him.
JP Sears.
Yeah.
These are the names. So there's a bunch of various people, scientists, doctors. I've heard of this guy. I don't know a ton about him. This Duncan Trussell, he's a comedian. He's on Joe Rogan a lot. Loves psychedelics. So it seems like a lot of like PhDs, influencer folks.
I would go to like the talkbacks. I think
Yeah.
those are interesting. I mean, I do like, again, psychedelics are not for me.
Yeah. Not cheap, by the way. So it's $200 for a 1-day ticket, and then $300 for a 2-day ticket.
And what happens on the day?
I guess you just see. The thing is, I was trying to find if they're going to give you psychedelics. This is the first one ever, by the way. But this is your chance to be part of the psychedelic conversation. No longer are the doors of perception held by a handful of gatekeepers.
Well, I mean, I will say, listen, like, first of all, I'm still like, that was the best we could do for the name. I have some feedback. But the conversation of psychedelics on what it could do for the medical community for aiding in PTSD or like very, very severe trauma is fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely fascinating. So in that realm, I feel like what is happening within that space of psychedelics and science and learning is so incredibly valuable, because we tend to the conservative, I don't even know how to use that word because I feel like that word has been commandeered and isn't even accurate anymore.
Yeah.
But we've seen for a long time, since the 60s, right, that any sort of like the man, maybe I'll use that as the definition, commandeers a lot of these things that could be helpful and then makes them quote unquote evil.
Sure.
Right? Because it's like, oh, we don't want to fuck with it. We don't want to know that it could be helpful. I don't think that's actually the conscious choice.
No, I think it's always one of two things. It's either there's a fear that it's going to cut into profits by somebody who has power. And, that's why a big reason why cannabis originally was made illegal. Right. You know about all this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm such a huge proponent where I'm like, listen, I'm not saying that cannabis is for everybody, whether like recreationally or,
no, it's not.
But I mean like medically even. Like it's not like, I think that we also have to be careful of being like CBD cures everything. It's like there's so much CBD that's not regulated as like as a regular user. Like I've been able to avoid needing to utilize any sort of like antidepressant or anti-anxiety or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I've been able to find something that helps to stabilize my mood. And that's so incredible for me as a human. And then also like in the future as a mom, and then also as a creator, it allows me to like regulate a lot of parts of myself that otherwise require a lot of breathing and exercise.
Well, what I was going to say is I haven't decided yet, but it's not, I'm open to both of us going maybe. Because it is your birthday weekend.
That's true.
That Friday night.
Those early bird tickets, only $170.
We could put it together, right? But think about this, right? It could be a whole psychedelic weekend. Because the night of your birthday, we're going to a 3D concert. We're going to a concert downtown LA by Big Gigantic, a very kind of cool like EDM with live brass and percussion, and they're doing like 3D projectors and laser lights. So it's already kind of psychedelic adjacent.
That's true.
And then just transition into, you don't seem as stoked as I thought.
No, I'm down. I actually would go. There's just no joke there for me because I'm like, I would go. That sounds great.
Well, check this out. This looks pretty cool, this next page with what's included, okay? So there's 25 speakers, which could be pretty interesting, a lot of those folks, but there's also 10 immersive art installations, virtual reality stations, visual DJ. So, like, it's a whole sort of visual component. And so that part seems pretty cool. And then this is something funny I saw just at the bottom. There's on the FAQs. So when it goes to the question of, will alcohol be served at this event? No alcohol will be available for purchase, but there will be a variety of mind state altering elixirs for sale. So curious what that means.
Psychedelics.
Well, I know, but I mean, like, what specifically? Like,
oh, I'm sure there's like all sorts of different types and like talking about microdosing and all of that. Psychedelics aren't for me only because I feel like I spend so much time in my head going to crazy places already that I'm like, yeah, I'm good. You know? Like, again, like being the experience that I had last night was already like more than enough of a trip. Like I really could talk about it in like complete full detail, but we don't have time.
Yeah, we don't. Okay. So anyway, that was it. I just thought it'd be a cool thing to consider.
Yeah, I think it's great. I've done psychedelics one time, and then I got really into the conversation of psychedelics and how they can help for PTSD, and because it really does all of that, of like explores the different parts of your brain. And that's to me the most fascinating, that we only use 10% of our brain.
Yeah,
so that's the part
that's real. That's not like a myth.
No, that's very real.
Okay.
So that's why when people are like kind of automatically decide that all of this conversation is hogwash, I think that's a little ignorant. I think it's okay to say that it's not for you, or it's not something that intrigues you, or something like that's a completely fine assessment or point of view.
Yeah.
But to just say because it's not for you, then it's all not real or applicable is also false.
That's fair. Well, I want to jump in. We could talk about that forever. When I jump into our next segment, because I've been reaching out to our listeners, specifically our friend Kayla, who like gave us direct feedback the other night on my birthday. Shout out, Kayla. We love you. Other listeners, feel free to message us what you like, what you don't like. Even more reason to tune in live. You can do it in real time. But she gave me some great notes about some segments that she liked. And she did like our new segment, Should We Buy This for Our House? So I got 2 items again, all right? 2 items. One is like a house item and one's like a cool day-to-day product. I'm going to pull them up. We're going to chat about them. How's that sound?
Great.
Okay. Yeah, so this is one that maybe not something we buy for the house, just a thing I saw online. I was like, that is so cool. How have I never heard of this? Check this out. Okay. Have you heard of the quick flip hoodies and windbreakers?
Why would I know what that is? That's not a thing we need for our home.
It is a hoodie or windbreaker that turns into a backpack. It's so convenient. How do you not look at this? Look at the video. Check this out. Ready? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I get how it works.
Run, bike, hike, parkour, jujitsu. The dilemma is always the same. Do you bring your favorite windbreaker or do you not? If you bring it and you don't need it, you're taking it off and now you're tying it onto your body in some awkward manner. But if you don't bring it and you do need it, now you're freezing for the rest of the day. But never again, ladies and gentlemen, not with the new dry flip windbreaker by Quick Flip. Check this out. 100% lightweight polyester, water repellent technology, mesh line, 3-panel hood. Best of all, when you take it off, you don't have to wonder what to do with it ever again. The windbreaker comes off, you simply hold it upside down. Look at this. We're going in, ladies and gentlemen. You reach inside the hidden patented pouch, you grab the bottom, you pull it through on itself with one hand, look, and the rest of it is tucked inside. When you do one shakedown, voila, have yourself a fully functional backpack. And the best part is, if you're with someone who is foolish enough to travel with a non-converting hoodie, simply grab there, take it, stuff it inside of yours, and now you've done a community service by carrying around their hoodie for the rest of the day until, of course, it gets cold again. Then the backpack comes off, you open up, you reach in, you say, here, pal, take your non-converting hoodie, reach inside, count to 3, please. Too slow. We're already back to full windbreaker technology. This goes on, and we're good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the days of non-converting outerwear are over. Quick Flip is here to stay. And guess what? It's available. Camo black, full black, and more colors to come very soon. You know what you got to do. The only windbreaker that changes functionality with the weather. Quick Flip apparel, no matter where life takes you, we got your back. How do you not? Okay. How are you not into that?
I don't just
Okay,
that man takes the same supplements as you. He was yelling.
I think
He
we would
was
be
yelling.
friends.
I know.
He looks
I
like a guy I
just-
want to do jujitsu with
I know.
and
You
smoke weed
guys
with after.
have the most fun. That was a 10. That was out of 10. Where I was like, is there a timer? Like he had to get it out in a certain amount of time? Slow down.
Okay.
Slow down.
I think it seems cool.
I think you should get one.
You wouldn't want that if you're traveling or something. That's so convenient.
Yeah, but if it's, I don't need that.
What do you mean?
That's not cute. I don't need it. That's a thing for you. That sounds like I think you should totally get that.
Okay. Well, next time I have an event that you want to buy me a gift for,
An event that I want to buy you a
Well,
gift for?
we just-
How expensive could that thing be?
it's like $50.
$50?
It's pretty convenient. It's a backpack hoodie.
Sure, I think the concept is great.
If you're just listening, look up Quick Flip hoodie or whatever it's called. If you're watching the video, I'm going to intercut the video. So I think it's cool. I showed a few people. They thought it was cool.
I love that you showed people.
Well, when we were at my birthday at
Oh.
Sassafras, I was showing a couple friends that came out. I was like, hey, what do you think of this item? I'm going to talk about it on the podcast.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What's wrong with that?
I'm just like, are you that person now where you're like, check.
Boo.
All right, what's next?
Okay. I got one other item for you. Sorry, I gotta find it on here. Oh, here we go. Okay. I'm gonna fix this light real quick. I realize it's changing. Okay. So this is an item that we definitely don't need. But if we have some money, he had a vision about our dream home. This would be pretty cool to get for our dream home, all right?
You want a bidet?
Hold on. Pause. Yeah, this is it. The BioBidet BB2000 Bliss Bidet toilet seat. This thing is awesome. It's heated. It self-cleans. It's got an deodorizer. I mean, this thing is... Why would you not want that? It'd be so... Then there's even one that's specifically for, like, feminine areas, too. It has, like, the thing that comes out, and you can, like, push how far out it comes and sprays. You want to see the video?
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty good on it. I feel good on it.
You don't want one?
I hope that you become the voice of Bidet King. That's what I hope.
Yeah, the website, by the way, it's called Bidet King.
Yeah.
And the only thing is, it's
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Bidet King. Are you thinking about getting a bidet? You should be. It's me, comedian and host Alex Getland.
I'm going to give you that push to clean your tush.
How much is it?
$700.
$700?
That's why I'm like, well, we don't need it that bad.
No, not in our 2-bedroom apartment. But, I mean, I get it. I mean, those tickets to going to the psychedelic convention was $200.
It's got a remote, so you can, without having to, like, reach back and fiddle, you got the remote, you can adjust the heat. It's got a little fan, helps deodorize. I don't know. I just thought it was cool.
I mean, I'm also just kind of like, it's just, people were pooping in the woods for millions of years,
That's true. People were also dying of, like, fevers for millions of years, too.
Oh, that's
I guess they are now with coronavirus, but...
Uh-oh. Oof.
I'm just saying. Okay, so it seems like I'm 0-2 for items for should we buy this for our house?
No, I think they're great. I think they're Alex geared items.
That is appropriate, yes. A bidet and a backpack
but
hoodie.
Yeah, I mean you get thumbs up for I feel like your guy from the quick flip video would love this bidet.
I'm big into cleanliness.
Yeah, I think those are great.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, now, how about next week you find items for the house?
Sure, but mine are just going to be things I actually want to buy.
These are things I want to buy.
Well, okay.
The bidet I can hold off on for a while. That's not necessary. The hoodie backpack, that is a really practical item for when you're... You don't think when you're traveling that's
well, that's what I was going to say. I'm like, when you're traveling, that makes sense to me. That's a good one to have.
To me, that's a pretty normal problem. If you're like out for the day and it's cold in the morning.
Yeah, he gave me all the selling points. Do you want me to order it for you right now? I don't know.
I'm going to order one myself.
Okay, I think that's great.
And I'm going to wear it and you can't say anything about it.
Please get the all black one.
You don't like the camo part?
I mean, it's fine.
I like the camo and black. All black is fine, but it's like kind of boring.
Great. Well, then we've figured out. I feel like you're just trying to convince me that you can buy it. And I'm saying go for it.
Yeah, but a lot of times, I've never once looked at your clothing and had any thought other than, like, if you like it, wear it. And 9 times out of 10, you look at my clothing and you're like, well, I know better than you, so let me decide what you're supposed to wear.
Sir, it's not my fault that I'm just gifted at these
Okay,
things.
all right, we're moving on. We're moving on.
Boo.
Boo. Boo.
You can't boo me on my own podcast.
Well, it's our podcast.
Well, that's debatable.
50% of the voice here, 50% of the boo. Coming from this guy at you. What's up?
What's next?
Well, that was it for Should We Buy This for Our House?
Okay.
So, I guess in conclusion, hold off on the bidet for a while. I agree. It was fine. It was just more of a fun thing. I just thought it was funny. There was a website called Bidet King, like a whole website just around bidets. But the hoodie flip one, I'm going to buy it. And
that's important. It's important.
It's
important.
You're being a jerk.
No.
You're being a jerk. You're all about functionality. And
that's true. I am.
There you go.
I think that's great. I think we could buy one of those and then maybe unload one of the 9 gym bags that you have.
I use them.
I've never met anybody.
Okay, let's go to our next
with
segment.
So many bags.
Okay, is there anything else specific you wanted to jump into?
No, I didn't know, what's going on in our world, what's going on in our week.
Well, I've got a whole bunch of headlines for Rachel Learns the News.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let me get those queued up for you.
Okay.
So I think I might have to make these bigger, I just realized. So give me a minute to do that, okay?
Yeah, we're just going to go through these, right, and then do...
The baby show.
Baby show.
And then we're done. Unless there's anything else you wanted to tackle.
No, that's okay.
Oh, yeah, and I have that thing from Yeah, it's kind of old now. It was gonna be that pub choir event, but we kind of. Oh, yeah. This is one other. Okay, this is one thing that. I'll save it. Actually, we're not gonna have time. It's called the Los Angeles Pun Off, and it's like a pun competition. But we'll skip that unless you don't care. All right, let me just double check we look good. Yeah, we do. We're still recording. Yeah, great. Okay. So, everybody's favorite segment, yours and mine. Rachel learns the news. We're back at it. We're learning news. Now, remember, this isn't political news. It is Super Tuesday today, though, so we're going to find out probably who is our Democratic presidential candidate. Do you want to talk about that at all? We'll just wait. This airs on Friday, but today it's Tuesday.
Yeah. No, I just hope everybody did their civic duty and voted. And yeah.
Hopefully it's not Trump.
That's it.
Okay. Well, let's jump into this. So I just did fun news, either uplifting stories or like, that's good, or just a lot of cute stuff.
Cool.
Figured last week we had, food poisoning, coronavirus is spreading everywhere. We just want to do some fun, cute, a lot of animal stories this week, all right?
Love an unlikely animal friendship.
Well, we didn't get that, but we did get a few here. So this one is awesome. This is my favorite one of the whole bunch. So here we go.
Local pizzeria put shelter dogs on pizza boxes to help them get adopted.
How awesome is that?
Ah.
Right? So look at this, okay?
Oh my word. That is so cute.
So the Niagara SPCA teamed up with Just Pizza Amherst to help get some shelter dogs adopted this weekend. Customers who order a pizza will find an adoptable friend on the front of the box. I mean, that is so cute. You know what would not be cute? It would just be like too heartbreaking as if they put children who need to get adopted on the front.
Oh my God.
But isn't that
I don't
sweet?
know why I was just thinking like eligible like bachelor and bachelorette.
That would be so funny.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's also hilarious because
eats your pizza and then also consider Cameron.
Isn't
you
it?
know? She's a dental hygienist.
Because
she's 30 years old.
I was like, that's like the original cheesy porn plot. Like the pizza guy shows up and she's like, well, I don't have any money, but I will blow you. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. Was that worth getting out?
I guess not.
Yep.
God damn it,
I
Rachel.
just wanted you to learn,
Excuse me, learn what? Fuck you.
That's awesome. All right.
This is pretty clever, though.
No, I think it's great.
I'm a big fan. So, Just Pizza in Niagara. So I guess it's a New York thing, but
yeah, dude. Shout out. My name is Hooch, and I'm 5.
Yeah, looks like a big old just.
I think that's great. It's like, hey, my name is Hannah. I'm 30, and I want to live with you.
Yeah.
Share on Facebook.
That would be so funny if, like, your idea of because Hinge is the one. I mean, we haven't been on dating apps in so long.
No, because Hinge is even different now.
Oh, it is.
The premise of what it used to be is no longer what it is now.
Well, you know what I just thought of with your thing, the kind of joke you had, but it does sort of make sense. Like, so much of dating is going to get something to eat, right?
Yeah.
So why not find a baseline of food that you and your potential date love? You love Thai food. I tolerate it. But what if you were meant to be with somebody who also loves Thai food? And then, you get your order and it's like, by the way, please consider, Charlie or whatever.
Give him a thought.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Okay. Well, there we go. So I thought it was a cute story. Moving on to the next one here.
There is a sloth institute which looks after baby sloths that lost their moms.
So look at this little baby sloth.
My
I'm
word!
gonna put these photos up on our. I'll make some clips for Instagram and for the YouTube page. But yeah, sloths are. I always wondered how they don't all just get eaten. They're so slow.
Well, I'm sure it's something to do with their own. Every organism on the planet has a purpose.
No, I know.
And I guess theirs are just to be cute.
So yeah, so these sloths, there's an institute in Costa Rica.
But that's the thing. How does one stumble onto being like a sloth mom? You know what I mean? Like
It's a
this
very
woman,
specific career choice.
Do you know what I mean? Where I'm like, sometimes I always wonder that of like most paths make sense, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to be a CPA, cool. You do this, you get your MBA, get a couple clients, you're good.
I would assume you go to be like you're originally planning to be a vet or work in a zoo or something like that. Dude, how much funnier though would it be if somebody was like, I always wanted to take care of kids, couldn't handle children. You know what I do like though? Baby sloths. They're slow. They don't talk back.
I mean, it makes sense.
I would go to this.
Look at salmon or sloth.
I mean,
oh, he's little.
You ever seen that video of Kristen Bell and they surprise her with a sloth on that talk show?
Oh no,
you never seen it?
Uh-uh.
Oh, she like has an emotional breakdown.
His name is Kermie. Aw.
So.
That's cool.
Yeah. Just some little cute baby sloth photos. Okay, we'll jump to the next one here.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Dog strolls into police station to report himself missing.
Okay, so
somebody had so much fun coming up with that.
Of course.
Like clickbait. Oh my God.
So again, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of super cut on our Instagram of all the cute animal photos because there's so many. So basically what happened here, actually, why don't you it's a quick article. Why don't you just read this?
Last week in the wee hours of the morning, an unexpected visitor strolled through the doors of the Odessa Police Department in Texas and hopped up onto the counter. It was the friendly dog who seemed eager to let officers know of an incident in progress, that a certain someone had gone missing from home. He himself. Oh my word.
He just looks so cute, right?
He's so cute. Sergeant Rusty Martin.
What a weird name.
Oh, only in Odessa, Texas, was among the officers there to receive him, noticing that the pup appeared none to be distressed by his lost dog status. Oh my gosh. How funny.
So it turns out, spoiler, I'll jump to the end here. He actually just ended up leaving on his own and then finding his owner. But the police made a post like, hey, a dog that didn't have a tag strolled in if anybody is looking. And then it turned out that, he found himself. But it's just so cute. I will say it's pretty impressive that, like, dogs kind of know how to, like, they know enough to know, like, he probably was like, something's wrong. Maybe I should go to this place where people seem to congregate and, be like, hey, guys, like, something's not right with me. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe. I feel like we might be giving him a little bit too much credit.
I'll give you a better example.
Okay.
I saw an article that there was a couple that went hiking. They were missing for 9 days. I didn't have it in the stories this week, but I just remember it from reading it. Turned up alive. They were fine. And there was like a rescue party, and they sent some dogs out to like go look for the people, and the dog found people just like in the woods, and then like knew to run back and forth between like the rescue party and the people, like this, that they could comprehend that. It's fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, dogs are highly intelligent animals.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's also all instinct, which is the number one thing that we have laid over from when we were non-speaking mammals.
What, just our instinct?
Yeah.
That's actually going to be important in our last segment. We'll get to in a bit. But let's do a couple more of these fun, cute articles. Okay.
Oh, my God.
This is my favorite, I think.
Street singer was ignored by everyone. Then 4 kittens came to show their support.
Could you imagine if you were doing stand-up at an open mic and nobody wanted to listen, and then 4 kittens just came and sat? And if you guys, again, go to the Instagram, they're so attentive. Like, they're sitting here, they're perched up, they're staring at this street singer.
I would feel like Cinderella.
Yeah.
If I was on stage and all of a sudden 4 tiny kittens came to sit and watch me, it would be the most magical Disney princess moment of my life.
It does seem like out of a movie, right? Yeah, this literally says, life as a street performer is very lonely. Ain't that the truth? And it is even worse when nobody stops to listen and appreciate your performance. You need to be a pretty confident person to be able to deal with being rejected and ignored. This Malaysian busker, I don't know what a busker is. I guess it's a term for like a street performer.
Mm-hmm.
You knew this.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Something specific, or just that's what they call them?
That's just what they call them, because there was a bunch of them in Chicago because of the train station.
Oh, cool. So yeah, this Malaysian busker was ignored the whole night. Nobody stopped to listen to him. As he was about to call it a night, an unexpected turn of events happened. 4 adorable, furry new friends sat down and patiently listened to him play his guitar. I mean, dude, this is so awesome. And somebody got video of it. It's so cute. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but they just stroll up. Oh, my God. And they're so intrigued, too. Like, clearly they know that he's playing music.
They like literally look just like a seated audience.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Oh, it's so awesome. No word if he adopted him. He never got much gratuities that night, but the kittens surely touched his heart. Could you imagine if they like ran and brought back a treat and like left it? You know how like cats will do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like they found like a dead mouse and left it at his feet, like they were trying to say, "Here you go."
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is actually I thought it was kind of like yeah, good for you guys. All right.
Children stage mass walkout after teachers were forced to quit for being gay. Where is this?
So, students at a Catholic school have walked out in protest of the resignations of 2 teachers who allegedly resigned because they were gay. So this is a Catholic school in Seattle, and basically the school forced these teachers to resign for having like openly homosexual lifestyles. It is a Catholic school, I guess. It's the school's choice. They're religious, whatever. But the students were like, dude, F that. We love these teachers. This is ridiculous. And I just think it's like telling of the time, like, have whatever religious views you want, but like the younger generation, for the most part, to generalize, I think they're very much like, listen, man, you can be religious and care about all the morality stuff and not give a fuck about who someone is consensually sleeping with, whether they're gay, straight, bi, whatever. It doesn't matter. So I just thought it was cool that the students like got together and were like, we want, like, they're like, we'll be Catholic, but let's get rid of this archaic BS about like someone can't be a good teacher and happen to be gay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just feel like you didn't give me a second to speak. You talked about it and then told your opinion. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of it. I don't really know what else you want me to say. Sorry.
No, I don't know if you had any thoughts.
No, what I'm saying is you already took the whole thing. So there's nothing.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to do a lot here. I'm trying to find the article, set you up.
I know, but I'm also just saying, because I know like you had a lot of, you're like really on a 10. So I was just saying, like, that's where I was trying to give you something for the Malaysian article, or about the guy being like, oh, it makes me feel like Cinderella, or like trying to input. And I feel like you just kind of kept, so just leave a little space for me. That's all.
So what should I have done with the Cinderella part?
Or like, just like, hear me, ask more about that. Because like sometimes I'll try to say something to start a joke and then you'll just keep talking. That's all. Puppy.
I mean, you got to understand, like, I'm trying to, like, keep track of time, make sure the articles are set up, I have a lot of, I'm trying to keep track of when I'm doing this.
I know, but also if you want it to be funny, you have to leave room for me to respond. Otherwise, we're just going to blow through the whole thing. So I'm happy just to let you lead and just respond, but you're going to look back at it and be like, oh, we don't really have a lot to work with. So that's why we sometimes just have to.
Well, I don't know how to find the middle ground because I did wait for you to respond and then you're just kind of like, okay.
Because this one, I'm saying you already said all of the stuff. So that's what I'm saying.
What should I have done then?
So I think if you're presenting them, like, let me read it, let me start, let me lead, and then you can, like, jump in and fill in whatever. Or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but okay.
All right, never mind.
Well, then you asked me, like, what it was, and I gave you the information.
Okay.
You literally said, where is this? And I just gave you the bullet points of what happened. And then you're like, well, now you took over. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do here?
I just wanted to know where it happened. And then,
all right.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll give you one sentence and we can move on. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really great, but I agree with you of, like, it just kind of feels like, all right, old news. Like, which I know that it's not necessarily fair because we live in Los Angeles where I just assume that, like, everybody's okay with same-sex marriage. I guess, to me, I feel like even if I was a politician who's, like, vehemently against it, I'd be like, find something else to hang your hat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we've moved on.
Well, it's weird that, like, do you remember, I remember hearing a lot of, like, super far-right religious people being like, if we let all the gays get married, then they're going to start marrying animals. People are going to marry their dogs. And it's like that still has never, no one's tried that once yet.
Right, but that's just, like, an outlandish thing to say in order to, like, create drama over something that, like, doesn't need to be dramatized. That's all that is. Like, I don't think they actually believe that then people are going to, like, that is such a illogical argument.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I actually said, can you support that argument, you would have nothing to say. Like, that's the most ridiculous statement.
Yeah.
It's okay if your statement is simply like, I come from a background of creation, and so I believe that marriage is only between a man and a woman.
Right.
That's your belief. That's fine.
When you were in school, was there ever a time where people, like, tried to organize a walkout on anything? None from mine. I was trying to. Yeah. I guess we're not from politically motivated.
No.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. 2 more.
Deaf man adopts adorable deaf rescue puppy and teaches him sign language.
Can you believe that?
Aw, so they got to, like, be buddies.
Oh, wow. What the hell? It says this content is, I guess the article expired. God damn it.
Oh, well.
So we'll have to scratch that one. All right, last one. This isn't even really news as much as it's just something ridiculous I saw. And it's one of those things where, you know, when, like, you're talking about in a previous episode, how crazy it'd be to be high and see something in the world, and you're like, that cannot be real. This is a perfect example. I would love if you, like, took those edibles and stumbled upon this.
Someone built a drone that looks like Snoopy flying around on his doghouse. That is so funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
So I'm going to put this clip on, too, on our Instagram.
That to me is, like, why I believe in humankind. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many awful things happening in the world, and then you see something like this, and it's like, I think we're going to be okay.
I mean, think about if you were just super high. You're just laying out, enjoying some sunshine, and then you see the Snoopy doghouse flying through the air, just spreading joy.
What is it about that personality type of people that are super into Snoopy?
Yeah, that is sort of weird, right?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like the Peanuts in general.
Yeah, well, there was a phase for a while where I remember, do you remember this? I think it was like maybe closer to about 10 years ago in LA, so you weren't here yet. But I remember seeing a lot of those, like, Fairfax, like, hip-hop grungy kids, and they had, like, cartoons of things like Garfield and Snoopy, but they were all decked out as, like, gangbangers. They had, like, these big T-shirts with, like, Snoopy, but he had, like, a gun and, like, you know, like, hard Snoopy.
Yeah, which is fine. I just feel like it's, like, boring satire.
Or do you remember there was that thing with, like, Marilyn Monroe, and people, like, took pictures of her, and it was, like, Marilyn Monroe's face, but then, like pistols and tattoo arms. And
there's a lot of art that's like that of Queen Elizabeth, and she has, like, neck tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had one of Abraham Lincoln, and you made me get rid of that T-shirt. Remember? It was Abe Lincoln, and then he had, like, these big muscular, like, arms and cholo tattoos, and I thought it was cool. But you were like, Alex, you are a 31-year-old man. I'm 32 now, but at the time I was 31 or 30, and you were like, You can't have this anymore. Bless you. You know, sometimes I just like to hold on to things that remind me.
Like grudges.
I don't have any grudges.
I know. It was just, that was an easy joke.
But I truly don't. I can't think of a single person I have a grudge against.
Are you kidding? I mean, you don't in like real time, but I feel like sometimes you get so easily activated by people and you're like, if that person, I would go to their house, I would pick them up, I would grab them by their neck. I'm like, whoa.
Okay, first of all, yes, anger in the moment, and then it subsides, and then it's fine. But do I hang on to that?
No.
Day to day walking around.
When I think it's Minneapolis is where Paul Schultz is from, the guy that did the Peanuts.
Oh, yeah.
But downtown, they have all these like life-size versions of the Peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
That's sweet. What was your favorite cartoon growing up? I wasn't really a Peanuts guy. I think we both were a little bit young before, like, because he was a little bit bigger before we really.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with like the Charlie Brown Christmas, but
Yeah.
you didn't do Christmas, so that
No, but I
wasn't...
know I've seen Christmas movies.
Okay.
I've seen Santa Claus. I've seen A Christmas Story. Have not seen Life is Beautiful.
Well, Life is Beautiful. That was the movie about.
Wait, what am I thinking? It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
That's what I meant.
Life is Beautiful is a really sad story about the Holocaust.
Oh, that's sad. No, It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Yeah.
Do you get annoyed that every year people are always like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yes or no? It's like weird that every year we keep talking about this.
That's so funny because, yeah, where I'm like, we haven't solved this debate yet, or there's nothing else more interesting going on in the zeitgeist. We're like, how many times can we rewrite that article?
I know. It's like, well, it's just because we burn through ideas and content so fast now. It's like you were saying, so we on our top 10 episode coming up next week, so we have some bonus content for you guys. Stay tuned. But little spoiler, you were telling me about one of your favorite top 10 documentaries about how fast we've progressed as humans.
Yep.
And part of that is like, intellectual content. I mean, there's only so much. I think that I was talking to my brother about this, who's a musician, for those listening who don't know. And I think that's part of why like the traditional rock band has sort of like disappeared, because there's only so much you can do with like those instruments. Like, of course, I know older folks, my dad, for example, likes to look at electronic music and be like, what is all this crap? It's just like weird noises. I don't get it. But like, of course, music would have to go in a direction that was something so bizarre and out there, because there's only so many kind of different variations you can do with traditional instruments.
I mean, I guess. I think it's the same as fashion. I think anything is like cyclical. So I think we'll probably start to see the reemergence of classic rock bands because everybody has
Maybe.
gone out so far that now they have to strip it back down, right?
Yeah.
And like what used to have been like
Well, funk kind of
really,
came back
really
heavy.
progressive chords or things, where it was like, wow, we can't believe like the Beatles came up with that. That now when people start to write music like that again, it's going to be like, it's so stripped down and basic. You know what I mean? We're like, we have to go all the way back around.
I was thinking about what you were saying about fashion trends. Like, what would be the worst fashion trends to come back? I'm trying to think of what was like, not like recent, but like what was really big. What are those cotillion dresses? I guess that wasn't a trend. That was more of like a cultural thing.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think anybody was out like rocking a cotillion dress.
Maybe. Well, I'm trying to think of, I don't know. I guess you don't have a lot of thoughts on this.
On what?
Just like what would be some insane fashion trends if they like came back in like the 20s?
I mean, I feel like everybody already, I was thinking about this the other day. I was walking through a restaurant and I was like, if you were doing costumes for a show or something that took place in 2020, like a time from now, you could basically go back and look at movies and videos from 1993 because fashion is basically exactly what it was in the early 90s.
I mean, to me, the only difference I've seen from like the 80s to now is like we've kind of changed jeans here and there a bunch of times.
Yeah, but I mean,
the t-shirts are the same.
Right, but I mean, like in the early 2000s, fashion was much different. It progressed a lot from the early 90s.
What was big in the early 2000s?
There was a lot of crop tops, a lot of like bedazzled things. Like there was a lot of like, it was very kind of like maxed out. Mm-hmm. And now we've kind of reverted back to like a basic mom jean and a white ked and then just like a sweater, like everything, scrunchies. Right. Like everything's kind of reverted back to being like very bare bones and simple.
You know what I'm really curious? Remember, like last summer was the summer of the dad bod. Like, what's going to be the new thing this summer?
I mean,
which also, like, I love how we just like the dad bod is just like a slightly out of shape guy. Not even fat, just like, you know, clearly not at the gym more than maybe once a week.
But that was the thing where it was just like, you mean just like a man's body when he's
Right.
like in his early 30s?
A regular dude.
Like an average person's body.
I feel like currently I'm like a dad bod once removed.
Sure.
Like a year ago, I was in way better shape. I'm still fine, but I definitely, being engaged, I've gotten comfortable, you know?
Well, let's push you out of the nest, you know? I don't know. You said you didn't want to be comfortable.
Well, there's only so many hours in the day.
Amen. I'm so tired right now.
I mean, I'm waking up 3 days a week at 6:30 a.m. to go do jujitsu.
Well, that's a choice.
No, I know. I'm saying, but I can only do that so many times. Like, there's only so many hours in the day I can afford to, like, go to bed early enough to wake up early the next day to have the energy to do an hour of super intense
Well, that's
exercise.
why I'm really excited for these live stream episodes.
Hey.
Because we'll be doing them at the optimum time for me. Because like right now is not like my best me, right?
I get it.
But it's like 5:30, like that's like really, because sometimes like if it gets too late, like 9 p.m., I've kind of hit like 5:30 for me is like the perfect optimum time. Like if I could always be performing live on stage at like 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, we're so different. I mean, that's good too for like this kind of thing, but I guess it depends what activity I'm doing, but I've found that like it's really, when I wake up around 6 or 6:30, it's always difficult, even if I go to bed at like 9 o'clock the night before. But then once I'm kind of up and moving, and about 45 minutes later, if I'm at the gym and I'm in it, dude, I'm going full ham hog. I'm in it. Like I'm rolling around and getting a sweat on, and shut up. You're making this face. Why can't you just be happy for me that I'm happy with the things that I like?
Oh, don't put that out there. Of course I am happy for you and happy for the things that you like. But yes, I feel like...
I mean, I'm getting a great workout. I'm learning jujitsu, which, God forbid, if I ever had to defend myself.
I know, but also I supported you.
Yeah.
Very much in that. Financially, like, supported you on that.
Thank you.
So,
it's very sweet. Well, when your birthday comes, I got a whole bunch of stuff. Speaking of, I want to talk about this really quick, and then we'll go into our last segment. So I just had my first birthday in 4 years, and it went great. It was wonderful. You know, you and I went out to dinner with my brother and his wife and our friend Casey, and it was lovely. And then I just did like a really like low key, chill thing at a bar, and it was just a perfect reminder for me. Don't make your birthday this. And I know you love your birthday, and anyone else. I know some people are like obsessed with their birthday, but
that's an internal thing.
For me,
that's for me. I'm not placing it on everyone else of like birthday week. Okay, so like Mondays we're gonna do this, Tuesdays.
That is so annoying to me.
Like that's not what.
As an adult, what? Because like, listen, most of our friends are comedians. It was a Saturday night. They have gigs. They got shows. I totally understand. And also, people are busy, or they're poor, or they're just tired. Like, I can't think of the last time I went to somebody's birthday event. So that's why I was like. Part of me was like, it's the first leap day in 4 years, and it's Saturday. Should I make it a big ta-da? Should I do a big thing? And I was like, no, dude. Pick a bar, no cover, no line, somewhere chill. Whoever can show up, and whoever can't. And I'm so glad that I did that, because internally I did have this sort of a little bit of a voice like, should I do some big epic event? No, don't do that. I mean, I guess do what you want. But for me, it was just a great reminder how much happier and non-stressed out I feel when I only make a big deal about stuff that needs to be a big deal. The fact that I just chose to just do a very simple low-key event, whoever was able to come came, and whoever couldn't didn't, and it wasn't a big deal. And my birthday came and went, and life went on. I'm just saying it was a reminder that we put unnecessary pressure on ourselves for such stupid
But we do that
things.
for everything, which is why that's why I said this morning where I was like, listen, I went on a journey last night and I learned everything about our lives.
I'm going to look into maybe getting us a one-day ticket to this psychedelic event.
But what I'm saying, I'm saying,
you're open to it?
Yeah, I
could be good content.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said I think we should just invite everybody to the wedding. Not everybody. You guys are not all
not all of
invited.
you guys.
But we've been going back and forth because we're like, with this, if we do this,
if you
list,
comment,
like,
you could come.
Everybody, you know, sorry, I just had so many ideas go through my head.
Just
all at
imagine
once.
like a bunch of random people showing up at our venue.
But I mean, that's also how it feels with inviting all these people. Where I'm like, half of like the extended cousins, they could all be random people. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
But it was that big,
God
huge
damn
thing
it.
where it was like, well, are we gonna do it? And then people are gonna be offended. And then that's where I woke up. I was like, just invite everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because you know what? Most people, they're not even gonna come anyway.
Right.
And that's what like my biggest.
But you are welcome to send a gift.
But my biggest takeaway from my journey last night was simply that of like I put so much pressure and weight on so many things that it's like now what used to feel like so much pressure is now where I was like, just when things come at you like that in life, play catch with it. It's so much easier to pick up the ball, throw it back over the fence, and keep going. And when somebody throws the ball back over the fence, rather than being like, I don't know, should I pick up the ball? I don't know. Maybe they didn't mean to throw it over here. What does the ball mean, though? I don't really know. Like, just pick it back up and throw it back over the fence and keep going.
Totally.
And that's how I feel with that of like, let's just invite everybody. Most of them aren't going to come anyway. Come if you want to. Come if you don't. I really don't care. Like, I mean, meaning from the best place possible. Of like,
Totally.
yes, we're inviting you because we want to extend that to you. We love these people or they're a part of our lives.
We feel obligated.
Or whatever it is of like,
Right.
whether it is like a supposed to, right? Like in life, there are those supposed tos.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be beholden to them,
Sure.
but there are that we do live in the, you know, like again, for it's like all this idea of like spiritual work. It's like we do live on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
We have to abide by the rules that have been set up. And some of those are like extended family should be an invite. Great. Then invite them.
Totally. Yeah.
They're probably not going to come anyway.
Yeah. And they
So
might send
it's
a
like,
gift.
or maybe not. You
Yeah,
know,
that's fine,
Who
too.
like I don't even care anymore. Like just all of this pressure and weight on like these things that we're supposed to do or how things are supposed to turn out. Like to that point of like it's so much easier to be like, great, here's what we're gonna do, and we're doing like, you know, where originally we were like for our ceremony, right? Because we're
Oh,
blended
God,
family,
yeah.
so it was like, okay, are we gonna do things that like reflect Judaism and play like homage to that, and then also like Christianity and all these things, and I was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're going to do a quick 10-minute thing.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to do something that like honors where you and I are in our life. And that's it. Like, it doesn't have to be this thing of like, oh, if I don't do a thing for this part of our family and this part of our family and this part of our family, it doesn't A, make me bad. And B, it doesn't mean anything else other than like our lifelong commitment to each other is so much more important. Like the every day we wake up and choose to be together than anything we could possibly say in that fucking ceremony.
I will say I'm really grateful and lucky that you are not one of those people that's like, the wedding this, it has to be perfect, this and that, and then just all the hoopla. You're like, no, dude, let's just get some easy food options, chill. Like, we're going to have some fun music that's just like simple and gets the job done, and we're just going to hang out.
Well, again, I think it was interesting because I shout out also if you're looking for a good cannabis product that is a good time. Juna, Juna, the Juna drops. They have one kind. It's called Gold.
Okay.
And like the way it's supposed to make you feel, like the 3 descriptor words, it's like happy, like clear and like shiny or something. Present is another one. Anyway, it was such a delightful, like, I mean, and I just do like the barely enough, just take the edge off.
Right.
And it was so delightful. We did that on your birthday. Anyway, so we're sitting there and I'm engaging with some people and I started to like hear what I was saying about the wedding because there were like women there and they were wanting to catch
Sure.
up. And when I could check in with myself and hear what I was saying, and I was so enamored with myself that like I arrived at this place, which they were like, well, what are you doing about dress shopping? And, you know, yeah, have you figured out this part and this part? And I was like, yeah, I just decided, like, I did a bunch of research online for dresses and realized I could stress myself out with trying to find the perfect dress. Or I could go, these ones are affordable and they'll work. I will look beautiful in anything that I choose.
Yes.
And nobody will remember. Everybody will love the photos for a week, and then everyone will forget about it.
Yeah, of course.
So it was like this ultimate placement of like everything has to be perfect is so false. And why would we ever individually put ourselves through that much stress for other people to make judgments in 2 seconds anyway?
I know.
You know, like,
The one thing I
why?
will say to anyone listening, if you've seen anything like really cool at a wedding and you're like, oh, that was a fun, wacky thing, or like that was a cool, unique thing, send it our way. Like maybe we'll do it. Like just if it's cost effective and like seems it fits our personality. But we're always interested in like cool ideas.
But yeah, that's where I was like, we're going to throw what I've been dubbing it as, the wedding of the century, AKA a love bazaar.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we're just throwing like a spring
Soiree.
kind of like,
Yeah.
that's what I want of like, there's like different stations and it's really, that was another thing. I went on a journey of our wedding in my head. Because I was like, oh my God, we really did pick the perfect place. It's got like this beautiful mural. And then there's like an outdoor portion. And then we get to take pictures like overlooking the city of LA. And like, I feel like we did find this perfect pocket of a space that's like interactive and cool and tucked away, but also like not highfalutin. Like it's not super
Totally.
glam.
Yeah.
It's not like this like ornate farm where they make organic soaps. You know what I mean? Like
Even more reason why I think it might be worth our while to go to that psychedelic wellness convention.
I
'cause
haven't said no.
I know, but I'm trying. It's a little expensive, so I'm just making sure it seems like it's a good investment because there's 10 interactive art exhibits and it's going to be really cool and funky. What if we get inspired for things we can bring into our...
Oh, I have no doubt that you won't get inspired while being
What if I could find a way to write it off on our taxes? How does that work? Do you know? I don't know. Neither one of us really knows.
No, that was actually, here's another thing that we're looking for. This year we just decided to bite the bullet and we're doing taxes with H&R Block. Don't at me.
Oh, God,
I know there's way smarter ways to do it, but with beginning to blend our finances and with different investments and we have money coming in from multiple resources, I was like, we really need to begin to create an even stronger financial plan, because I don't want to make it sound like we don't have a financial plan in place.
Right.
But with moving forward and creating these businesses and really solidifying some stuff, we need to like get on that plane. But for this year, I was like, let's just take the hit this year or do it this way and be done with it. So we are going to start looking for a really good CPA. So if you
know
guys
anybody,
have somebody that you love or a system that you use throughout the year, let us know.
Yeah. I know. It's so funny because people, like, when I've mentioned that, they're always like, wait, Alex, you're a Jew. Don't you just have, like, tax people in your family? It's like, okay, we're not all, like, bankers, dude. Like,
funny.
it's just, and people get, like, confused. Like, wait, why don't you just, like, understand finance? It's like, I mean, I have a basic understanding, but that wasn't, like, we don't go to preschool with, like.
That wasn't in Hebrew school?
No. Part of Hebrew school is not, like, how to control the banks and the media. That's not a thing that we do.
Oh, that's interesting.
I
thought that was the intro program.
Could you imagine, though?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we got to wrap this up soon, but let's get into our last segment, what we've been doing almost every week, what we are watching. So we went ahead and we jumped into a mini documentary. We went ahead and jumped into a mini documentary series on
called a docu-series.
Excuse me. A docu-series. Jesus Christ, dude. All right, a docu-series.
Why did you just get so upset?
Because, like, it's who cares? Okay, you're right. That's fair. I take it back. I'm sorry. Start over. Reset. So we just watched a docu-series.
I'm not editing that out.
Well, yeah, you're not, because I do all the editing.
That's not always true.
You going to edit this episode?
I would like to.
Okay, I'm going to send it to you right after we finish today. You can get cracking on it.
Okay.
Anyway, so we watched it 4-part? 5-part? How many parts was it?
Can I start?
Okay, let's start over. So let's jump into what we're watching. So
babies.
Yes. Tell us about babies, Rachel.
Oh, babies. Okay, so you know me, your girl. I'm always watching like whatever the new thing is. So I don't have a lot of free time. So really, the only thing I get to do for pleasure is watch good television
and eat chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's.
They're so good. The dark chocolate ones. Oh my God, get into it. Okay. So babies, because like Love is Blind was the #1 show, and I was like, that's dog shit. I'm not into it. Then the second #1 show on Netflix is Babies, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? And it's a docu-series all about babies' development, and it's all based in science, so it's absolutely fascinating. I think I just loved it because my ovaries were like, babies.
It's crazy how
I released so much oxytocin.
You feel your body like reacting to seeing these little.
In my body, literally, it was like sugar. Where I would watch it, and then I could feel oxytocin being released in my body, and I was like, I'm happy. Look at all these babies.
God, I can't. When you give birth to our first child, I mean, You're just gonna be like sobbing of happiness.
Yeah, well, and pain. It's a very painful thing.
Yeah, I feel bad for you, dude.
It's gonna be.
I'm actually legitimately worried about because you don't handle physical pain very well.
That's not true. I have an incredibly high pain tolerance.
Okay.
But it's just really so meaning like I don't feel like I'm gonna freak out. There's not gonna be any like freak out because I've handled a lot of like really intense pain physically already.
Yeah.
And breathing is a huge part of it. And I already have like a pretty good breathing practice, so you know I feel pretty confident about it. But anyway, yes, it's so cute. You watched some of it. How many episodes did you get through?
I got it most of the way through. I haven't had time to finish it, but I know enough where I saw. I mean, there's a lot of fascinating stuff. The things that I took away from it that were really incredible is they jumped into how like a baby will recognize its mother or father, and then it'll start like being giggly and silly to evict a reaction from the parent. So it knows like, oh, hey, I know this person. I want to play. So they play back with me. And if you don't give them what they want, they start crying and getting fussy. And then also how like once babies learn how to crawl, like it's so wired in their DNA to just go and explore the world in any way that they can. And so it was just fascinating. The other thing that's really interesting to me too is that compared to other mammals, like how helpless babies are, like human babies compared to like a puppy or a baby deer. It seems like other animals are born and they kind of already have a little bit of motor skills to get around the world, where we are so helpless.
Well, their brains are smaller.
I guess
so that's what's interesting because it moves into. I thought this was so cool. So I'm a huge proponent of how much of your brain exists in your body.
Yeah.
Say that again. I'm a huge proponent of how much of your brain exists in your body. Meaning, we a lot of times associate in Western cultures, they're two different things, right? We're always like body, mind, soul, right? Or like body and mind. To me, I feel like so much more of the indicators of especially like our instinct exists in our body before it gets to a logical thought. And it was really cool because in the episode about sleep, they talked all about how when a baby sleeps, what it's really doing is learning. It's basically like if your phone gets too hot, overwhelmed, what do? You turn it off so it resets, so you turn it back on and it works correctly. That's what's happening to a baby when it's sleeping.
Interesting.
So when a baby sleeps, a lot of times there's like twitching that'll happen, or a lot of times, like especially if you have newborns, they'll like be moving and like be dead asleep and then and then they'll
I do that still.
So they'll look. That's true. That's so true. So it'll look like
baby.
they're like starting to. Well, yes, you answered your own question, but they'll like start to wake up, like literally wake up, and then we'll immediately go back to sleep. Which adults don't really do as much, but babies will do that. So what they've found is the twitching is most likely because it's always been associated with this idea of like, oh, are they dreaming? They must be running in their sleep. This was fascinating. Somebody said, well, how could babies dream? Because they don't have any life experience of patterns to be able to create in their subconscious. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So what these scientists have figured out is it doesn't have anything associated with like, they're not necessarily dreaming, but what's happening is they're twitching because their brain is basically doing a diagnostic of, oh, so I'm sending a signal to my arm to move. So the brain is literally just finding out what all the body does.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, that's so trippy of like, that's why. So when you see your baby, if they're sleeping and like twitching, that's what's happening. It's their brain figuring out what a complex system it is.
Yeah.
So it's re-triggering those things so that your brain just automatically knows what these motor skills are.
God, that's so. I know this is sort of a stretch, but it's almost like if you're, and I don't even play video games, but when you're like learning the basic movements of a video game. Oh, this button does this button does that.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe we really are in a simulation.
Like, I mean,
Elon Musk thinks so.
I mean, don't even get me started. After last night, oh my gosh.
Well, what I will tell you. So I was really curious. I was watching about how important, like parental involvement is with a baby and reacting to the baby and showing it signs of love and compassion and whatnot. So in Romania in the 90s, there was like a really bad overflow of like children who were orphans who were living in. Have you heard of this famous case? So there are a lot of kids who lived in orphanages up into their like teens. And there were some scientists who studied what effect that had if like a child who grows up in an orphanage versus even like foster care. And they found that 4 out of 5 of those children that were in the orphanages had severe mental health problems when they were older, couldn't maintain healthy relationships. They even like for every 2.5 months of normal growth, it was like a month of growth. So like a teenager was like the size of like a small child because their body doesn't even physically grow at a normal rate. And it was just so, I mean, terribly heartbreaking, but incredibly fascinating that how the social interactions that humans have as babies and toddlers with their family correlates to how much the body can physically grow and the brain can develop to be able to function at like a normal adult rate. I mean, 4 out of 5, that's 80%. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, nurture is a huge part of development and growth.
Yeah.
And so when you don't have that, especially again, your brain is imprinting. So it makes sense that your body wouldn't be able to grow, because if your brain is not engaging, like if you're not being like, if you're a baby that's neglected, right? So my cousin, I actually don't know how many. She's 5 adopted kids, and then I think she's still fostering. I don't know how many are
1 or 2
are with them right now. Yeah, and so a lot of times these babies that get taken out of these households have like lived in a crib because their parents are doing drugs or whatever, or ignoring them. So like if you're not even getting up and getting out and exploring the confines of what are happening, you're not growing at that rate because you're not moving your limbs, you're not moving around, you're not exploring. So then your rate of words becomes smaller. You're like everything, because your world literally gets smaller.
Yeah.
So I mean, development of a baby is so fascinating, but I just thought that one about like your brain learning different parts of like your system is so fascinating. And like first words and learning how to walk. So if you have kids, it's fascinating. If you are getting ready to start a family like us, I think it's fascinating.
Yeah. I'd recommend it.
If you like science.
Yeah. Soundtrack was good too. I actually liked the music they chose.
Oh yeah, you looked it up on Spotify.
There's a playlist of the songs. I don't know if that was like good background like theme music.
I love this so much.
To wrap up this segment, give me your like top tips you took away from when we have kids in a couple years, hopefully. What are your like, gonna do that, not gonna do that, never thought about that?
My biggest thing is I'm going to do the best I can to not, well, I need to look more into sleep training. Like,
Okay.
I feel like my biggest apprehension is about how babies sleep and how will I best take care of myself, because it is that thing where like you want to do everything to take care of your baby, but I also know when I'm not taking care of me, then everything else gets like in disarray.
Yeah.
So like, what are we going to do as partners
Okay.
to set ourselves up, which is what I've always said of like, we'll have to talk with our pediatrician about like, you know, when I'm breastfeeding, like, does the baby always have to feed from me, or when can I start pumping so that
I'm not wearing one of those fake boobs.
that's fine. So that I can, you know, like if I'm breastfeeding with baby every 2 hours until like 4 a.m. And then I'm like, great, that's as late as I can stay up. Then I can go to sleep and you can bottle feed the feeds from like 4 a.m. when I go to sleep until like 10 a.m. when I wake up.
That was one of the most fascinating parts, that it showed that like the baby, like on its first moments of life, instinctually knew to crawl to the mother's nipple. Like it just was wired in the
But that's the thing where I go back and I talk about all the time from a place of spirituality when I talk about in mental health of like, we literally survive
Yeah.
based off of instincts.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere along the way, we slowly kill ourselves by learning to ignore our instincts.
God,
like our instincts are literally there to keep us out of trouble and to create the best life possible. I'm not talking about like manifest your dreams and like, I'm literally saying of like, your body will let you know when you are in quote unquote danger. Meaning if you go on a date with somebody and you're getting these like interesting feelings and you don't know what those are your instincts telling you these are red flags, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe not a place for you. If you're going on a job interview and you're kind of like getting these feelings of like, I don't know, like a sense of unsettledness, those are your instincts letting you know this is not for you.
Right.
So it's just interesting how like when we first come into the world, all of our instincts are based off of survival.
Yeah.
Well, then once we become adults, and assuming you've had some sort of privilege and you're not living in an environment that is without or with lack, right?
Right.
So like, you know, food's going to be on the table, you know, bills are going to get paid, right? Your instincts then kick in for the external outside of survival. So then they're just there to nurture you.
Sure.
And we just blatantly ignore them.
I mean, it's got so much of life really is centered around numbing your instincts. I mean, that's really what booze, not exclusively. I mean, booze is also a great lubricant for just relaxing and social interactions.
Great, and
But it's true. Yeah. Think about, I know for me, when I was younger, when I was really in my like partying days in my early 20s, so many times I would get hammered and just ignore like common sense, basic instincts.
Yeah. I mean,
this guy's cool. This girl's into me for sure. She's not really ignoring me. She's just busy. Dude, grow the fuck up. No, maybe she's a bad texter. What does that mean? You ever heard people say that? Oh, I'm just a bad texter. It means they're not that into you. If someone's a bad texter, move on.
No, I mean, but that's how I feel about everything, where I'm like, gosh, if people could just so quickly learn how to dial into their instincts and then just get out of anything that is not ideal, people would avoid so much strife. Like, life is not actually designed to be difficult. Life is painful.
Yeah.
Because we come into this life attached to other things and family traumas, etc., and people pass away and we experience loss. Like, life is very painful, but it doesn't mean that it's designed to be difficult.
Right.
We have the ability for life to be at ease. We are the ones that make it more difficult. That's where I was like, that huge revelation I had of like, pick up the ball and throw it over the fence.
Yeah.
Like, keep it moving. But it's the same thing of like, nobody's a bad texter. They just don't like you. Pick up the ball, throw it over the fence, move the fuck on.
Well, there's so many things we could dive into, but we got to wrap this up. We're already, kind of at time. So, guys, again, Monday, March 9th, we're going to be streaming live. You can find it on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch. I'm going to have all the links up on my social, Rachel's social.
Yeah, we're also going to be live streaming it next week to Alex's Instagram and my Instagram.
Yes.
And then we'll repost it later to the House Rules Instagram. So if you guys aren't following us on Instagram, what are you doing with your lives? Please follow us at Instagram.
I mean, I'm sure there's other things you're doing with your life, but please follow us.
I mean, yeah.
At House Rules Pod. I'm Alex Getlin on Instagram and all social at Alex Getlin, Gettlin.
And I'm at Rachel LaForce. RachelLaforce.
So guys, what do you always say? Be good, be kind.
Yeah. So wait, so let's take all that again. Nice and clean. You guys, that's it for today.
That was episode 9. And again,
episode 9. Episode 9 kind of felt like 2019. Just kind of like, eh.
Wow, great. Well, I'm glad that's how you feel about.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we did it. Listen, not everyone. This is what I found about an artistic medium. Not everyone is, not every game can be Game 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
Okay. I think I know what you're trying to say.
Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a lot of pressure to like deliver. Like every single one has to be like absolutely the best. And it's like, that's not going to happen though. It's a conversation. It's a thing we made.
That's fair. So anyway, to wrap up, next episode we're going live. Again, you can find all the links of where to watch on my social and Rachel's social. We're going to be on Periscope, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch. So you can follow me at Alex Getlin on all social media, AlexGettlin.
And you can follow me on all social media at Rachel LaForce, RachelLaforce.
And of course, you can follow our Instagram for this podcast at House Rules Pod. All the fun content with the photos and cute videos is going to be up there. We're making clips. We're getting clips out in a faster rate. We're busy, but we're working on getting clips for you guys.
Yeah, we're excited. We're going to be doing the live stream every Monday, 5:30 p.m. So we're excited. We're going to be... So we're excited. Again, we're going to be doing live stream every Monday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 East Coast time. So definitely check into that. Watch it for a minute. I know it's a big commitment to watch it for an hour, but pop in, say hi, and then we will zhuzh up that episode, and our episodes will continue to drop every Friday. And we're going to have some fun treats for you in the middle. I think we're going to have some new sneak peeks coming out every Wednesday. So we'll have new content for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks.
I feel like I want to give them a bigger farewell.
What do you want to do instead?
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Hey, you guys have a great week.
Yeah. Thanks.
You have to say you're Alex Getlin. I'm Rachel LaForce. Yeah.
I'm Alex Getlin.
I'm Rachel LaForce.
See you next week.
Bye.
What else did you want to do?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to edit it nice and tight.
Yeah, we forgot at the top to say, welcome to House Rules. I'm Alex Gallimich, but that's okay.
Let's do it really quick.
Okay. You can come in.
Oh, what's up, baby?
Yeah, we'll be done in
What up, dude? All right.
Yeah.
Here, we'll hit the pickup really quick.
And we'll be done in like literally 2 seconds.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, literally 2 minutes.
Ready?
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sorry.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to House Rules. I'm Alex Getlin.
And I'm Rachel LaForce.
And we are at episode 9.
We made it.
We made it, guys. We're here. Let's do it. Okay, that's it.
Great.
All right, Nolan, we're done.